Welcome to another edition of Sofa King Smarks Podcast. Here this week, we're going to be breaking down the NFL action from Week 4. And we're going to be making some bold predictions for Week 5. Also, stay tuned for the end of the episode because we're going to be doing an MLB Playoff Preview. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chet Vonchetsky. I'm here with Ben, a.k.a. Dat Dude Ben. How the hell are you, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Let's dig into this, man.
Absolutely.
I'm ready.
It was a great week of football.
Yes, man. It was great. Let's start off with the Bears, man.
Ooh, the Bears.
The Bears. What's going on? What's going on in Chicago right now?
Well, big problem.
They are imploding within from the looks of it. And I'm not even talking about the game yet. I'm talking about just the organization as a whole. They're just imploding, and it's translating onto the field with how the game was played on Sunday.
Yeah, they do not look good at all.
No, I mean Justin Fields looked good. He had MVP his quote unquote MVP numbers.
I mean, his first 300-yard passing game since college.
Yeah,
Clemson.
Yeah. Those are the numbers that, people, the Bears fans were ranting about, saying that he's the MVP.
See, the problem is coaching.
Yep.
See, they got this gentleman named Matt Eberflus, and I don't foresee him sticking around too much longer for that organization.
No, sir.
He's coached 21 games for them so far, and he's only won 3 of them.
Interesting.
Yes, and the last win came in beginning of October of last year.
Yeah, that stat we talked about. The Bears are the only franchise in American sports that haven't won a game since October of 2022. Yeah.
There was that meme where they were the only NFL team that hasn't won a game since Elon Musk bought Twitter.
Yeah, and that's obviously, it's not fair to kind of put them in the same pool as a baseball team, but still, you play so many games so far since October 2022, and you can't win one. That's almost impossible to do.
Different ways to lose them.
Yeah, I mean, at this game that they played against the Broncos, they looked sharp in all 3 sides of the ball. Justin Fields didn't make any mistakes until the end. The defense was keeping Wilson in check. That's it, and then they just imploded.
Well, Broncos didn't get on the board until 14 seconds left in the third quarter.
Yeah,
it was 28-7 after that. The problem is once again coaching. Tied 28-28, 4th and 1 from the Broncos' 18-yard line, and you don't kick a field goal right there.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make any sense to me. That boggles my mind. If I'm a Bears fan, I'm screaming for the coach to go right now.
One of the things that I've noticed with these coaches that don't do well in the NFL is their stubbornness. Their stubbornness to stick to the game plan that they have without making any adjustments. That you don't win football games like that.
No.
You don't win anything like that. If you don't make adjustments to your game plan, you don't win anything. And this translates to UFC, boxing, baseball, basketball, any sport that's out there. You don't make adjustments, you don't win.
Couldn't agree more, brother.
And these guys just being so stubborn to, we're going to do exactly what the quote unquote script says. It's what's causing the demise of these coaches.
I mean, their last 3 drives, they were looking very well on offense. They were looking great, and then they gave up a fumble for a touchdown, turnover on downs, interception.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
it's terrible.
Yeah, and Justin Fields isn't the only player out there.
No, not at all.
Speaking of players out there, there's one that in particular that wasn't out there this weekend. Chase Claypool.
Yeah, he was told to keep his ass at home.
Yeah. How do you have a I wouldn't call him a megastar receiver, but a star receiver Not someone that you traded for, by the way.
Yeah, it's a second round pick. They gave up second round pick,
Mm-hmm.
and he was not happy with his production. He voiced his frustrations this week, and they said, "You know what? You can just go ahead and stay on home, buddy."
Yeah, go fuck yourself, guy.
Yeah, I mean, he had one good year with the Steelers, and he had another breakout. It was a breakout rookie season, and then one good year after that, and he hasn't really done anything since. You know, he worked his way out of Pittsburgh. He's going to work his way out of Chicago. Mm-hmm. It's another Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant situation. Somehow you just get drafted by the Steelers, and then you just become insano.
Well, they become divas. They have a few games where they're the most talked about person in ESPN or Fox Sports, whatever, and they get. I personally, I think it gets into their heads, and they want all the attention. And when they don't get the attention, they don't get the throws, the targets, the catches, the yards. They throw a fit, like if it's the other person's team fault. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, all you gotta do is go out there and play ball.
Yeah.
All this bitching, pissing, and moaning, chirping on social media and all that. If you put that much effort into being a better ball player,
yeah,
you just be an overall better teammate, and who knows, your team might maybe win a game or two.
Yeah. Look at what happened with Juju. Juju with the Steelers was dancing like an idiot every single time he did something, and it annoyed the teammates until they basically ran him out of fucking Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And where's he now? He wasn't successful with the Chiefs.
He's on the Patriots.
He's on the Patriots right now, but before that he was with the Chiefs, and he did last year. And I mean, they won a Super Bowl, but they didn't want you.
He didn't do much.
No, he didn't do much, but that goes to show you, like, they won a Super Bowl and they didn't want you. That shows how, these diva wide receivers get treated. It's a team sport. Even if you're a megastar receiver, you having double coverage, that means someone else is free, is one-on-one.
Yep,
that's absolutely. A team. That's where the team, the sportsmanship happens within your team.
Yeah, not a lot of that coming out of the old
no, sir.
The old Bears camp.
No, sir.
Dysfunctional university program.
Yeah.
They're basically a college. They're a clown college.
Yeah, unfortunately. It's battle of the shits. that's what I was calling it the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, they got the first 2 picks in the draft, though.
They got the first 2 picks in the draft. 1 and 2, these guys. Jesus.
Probably trade away the second pick for a washing machine. That's how dysfunctional this organization is.
A used one at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see here. So the Bears aren't doing so well. Who is doing well, who basically almost had what we consider a perfect game.
Who?
Josh Allen. Josh Allen from the Bills had a perfect quarterback rating.
He sure did.
That game was insane, and one of the things I wanted to bring to your attention was because I got some slack from people who listen as to why I didn't have the Dolphins number 1 in my picks last week in my top 5 was because they played shit teams. They played the Broncos. If you're supposed to score a lot of points against the Broncos, they didn't do anything out of the ordinary. Sure, it was amazing because it's still an NFL game, but you flip the script. The Bills scored 48 points on the Dolphins, and the Dolphins scored as many points as the Broncos did last week, 20, and the Bills still put up those numbers, and that's why I didn't put them on my number 1 because they're still super unpredictable with their defense.
And you can't put them now. I mean, now the Bills are the front runner in the AFC East.
Yeah.
After that game, and what they did to the Dolphins, and everybody was riding high on that offense. They were going to throw for another 8,000 yards this game, and no one was going to stop them. And I believe into the hype too. I was there. I picked the Dolphins to win. I thought they were going to win. I thought they were going to cover their spread too. Who's I to go against Bills Mafia?
Yeah.
What In retrospect, that was a horrible pick by me.
Did you look at the team stats for this game?
Yeah. I looked at a few of them.
If you look at the stats, just in general, I'm not going to go into specifics, but just in general, the stats were almost identical in everything: in first downs, third down efficiency, total plays, total yards, total drives, total yards per play. Like everything is on par. Even possession, the Bills had about 50 seconds more in possession, about a minute more. And on paper, this looks if I were to give you these stats and you look at it on paper, you would say this was an even scoring game. But no, the turnovers killed the Dolphins in this game.
Turnovers and sacks in critical situations.
Yep. It was just an awful game by the Dolphins, and you put away, in my opinion, Tyreek Hill, and that's how you beat any team with Tyreek. That's what the Buccaneers did against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They put away Tyreek Hill, and they had no offense. They rely too much on him.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle wasn't doing anything.
Four receptions for 46 yards. Tyreek Hill had three receptions for 58 yards.
And I mean, the Bills lost one of their best defenders, Tre'Davious White. He's down with Achilles, so he's out for the season. Poor guy. He just came back from a season-long year injury from rehab from the year before, I believe.
He tore his ACL, didn't he?
I think it was his ACL. Yeah,
I don't remember, but yeah, that's a huge blow. But they still did it. I mean, the number one offense in the NFL got squashed by a mediocre Bills defense, and because they were organized.
Absolutely.
They had a good game plan coming in. They executed perfectly. And it was a close game.
They got the Dolphins off the field when they needed to. The Dolphins were only 3 of 10 on third down.
Yeah.
Yes, they had a lot of yards. They were piling them up. But the Bills defense, they came up critical and clutch in times that they needed to get that team off the field and get Josh Allen, who was on fire.
Yeah. Yeah, Josh Allen had the same amount of incompletions as he did touchdowns.
Yeah.
He was 21 for 25, 320 yards, 4 touchdowns. A quarterback rating of 158.3, a perfect
And
rating.
ran for one too.
17 yards.
Yeah,
That's
Bill's
crazy.
offense looked good.
Hey, they look good. And you know what? And these whole rumors of Stephon Diggs being upset with Josh Allen and the Bills, you could throw that rumor out the window right now.
Yeah, no, they look like they had no problems. He was like, "Hey, we're best friends."
Did you see that play with Diggs where he was basically manhandled by 2 defenders and he just escaped and ran for a touchdown?
Oh yeah,
that was amazing. Diggs
awesome.
had 6 receptions, 120 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's Justin Jefferson's numbers.
Bills get their run game going. They're going to look good.
Yeah,
that was the weakest part of their game. They didn't bust off any big runs, but they kept it honest.
They only
threw 25 times.
Yeah, the run. If you look at it on paper, the rushing scheme doesn't look good. But they collectively rushed for 104 yards. I think when you rush as a team for more than 100 yards, you're doing something right. You're killing the clock. You're getting the defense tired out there, and they did what they needed to do to win.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So, yeah, tough break for those Dolphins fans. But I would say for the last few years, Dolphins and Bills games are. This should have been a primetime game. They should have flexed this for Monday Night Football instead of this shitty ass Seattle Giants game.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And until I would have said either before I watched last night's game, going into the weekend, I would have said any one of these 2 primetime games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horrible stuff.
Well, last night's game turned out to be pretty solid.
The Jets and Chiefs?
Yeah, Jets and Chiefs.
Oh man. We might as well go into that one because that game was it was great, to say the least. But at the same time it was awful because you have Zach Wilson versus Patrick Mahomes, which should have been obviously Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes. should have been a banger of a game. That's why it was on prime time. But we have Zach Wilson playing his hard ass out. Like, it was just crazy how well this kid played yesterday. He played so well. He did something that no other quarterback has done in the Patrick Mahomes era. And that's he had better numbers collectively than Patrick Mahomes.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. Out of everyone, no one he's ever faced has had better numbers
than him. Yes. And since Patrick Mahomes started playing as a starter, no one has had better numbers.
That has to be like the longest streak in NFL history if they kept that stat.
It's maybe how long Patrick Mahomes has been in the league for 5 years, started 4, I believe, right? Because you
just got to think, just that many starts in a row, you have better stats than your opponent. Yeah, I can't see Tom Brady or Drew Brees or
nobody
going that many starts.
Even Aaron Rodgers. So Patrick Mahomes was 18 for 30, 203 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, sacked once, quarterback rating 63.6. Zach Wilson was 28 for 39, 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, quarterback rating of 105.2. Of all the quarterbacks out there that are better than Zach Wilson, he's the one that outplayed Patrick Mahomes yesterday.
That is insane.
That's insane. But
that's a crazy stat.
But like we mentioned with the previous was the Bears, it's a collective team game. You have to play as a team to win, and that's what the Kansas City refs did, because the refs bailed them out. I don't know. That's my opinion. That was pretty brutal at the end. That interception from Michael Carter.
Yeah.
What did you think about that call?
I mean, a bad call. Not necessarily a bad call. He did grab him some, but it's kind of a, you just got to let him play situation. It wasn't egregious, so.
I agree 100%. You have these players. They're grabbing like that the entire game. It pisses me off when you let something like that decide the fate of a game towards the end. And the announcers were saying it yesterday. Tirico and Collinsworth were talking about it. Just let him play. But Salah got a penalty at the end, which he was furious, man, and I don't blame him. That was a stupid call.
27 million people saw that call.
Yeah.
Most watched games since Super Bowl 57, I think it said.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that crowd was hot. You had Aaron Rodgers in the stands there, and it felt like that they were playing hard for him. At least that's what I saw. And then you had Taylor Swift being shown 17 times.
17,000 times.
Yeah. And I don't know if you saw this, but there was a guy who was watching a game. I don't remember if it was at the airport, but he was going to take a shot he took a shot for every time they showed Taylor Swift, and he was trashed.
That dude didn't get to his destination. I'll tell you that right now.
No, he did not. I thought that was funny. I thought that was hilarious. I mean, that's a game that you could play easily, but 17 times, come on, man.
Yeah. Imagine if you did that. If he came back around tonight and did it for Daniel Jones sacks.
Yeah.
Hammered. 2 days in a row.
2 days in a row.
2 day layover.
2 days. Yeah. Well, he probably died of alcohol poisoning at this point.
Yeah.
But the spotlight's already on the Chiefs too much, in my opinion. Taylor Swift on here, it's it brings the ratings.
We'll see him 1,000 times next week in Minnesota.
Yeah. I mean, you can't. The NFL's a business. It brings ratings. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
So let's see here. We touched base on the Giants right now because that game just ended a little while ago because we're recording on Monday, and Daniel Jones got sacked 10 times, folks.
Yeah, offensive line did not look good.
I mean, the whole team didn't look good. but the offensive line was the biggest culprit, the biggest finger to point, because like they say, like everyone says on ESPN, Fox, and whatever other sports, whoever controls the line of scrimmage is the one who controls the game. And
Troy Aikman or Joe Buck said during the game, they said they've drafted, I think, 5 offensive linemen in the first 3 rounds since 2020. Yep. That's the most in the NFL, and they had the worst looking offensive line.
Yeah, because they paid Daniel Jones too much money. That's what I don't get about these teams that fork up a lot of money for one particular player, and then you have no money to pay anybody else, and you're fucked.
Yeah, if you want to be mediocre, just pay the Red Rocket $10 million and go 500.
Yeah, it's sad.
Take your chance in the playoffs if you make it that far.
It's sad because you have all these, like you said, they drafted all these offensive linemen. They suck because you can't pay them. You can't bring anybody else because you don't have money and cap room to fit anybody else. So, man,
and that's why running backs can't get paid.
And that's why running backs can't get paid, aside from them getting injured so damn much. But you block for them, and they'll do great.
Yeah, you give big holes to run through, they'll finish. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Oh yeah.
The old
we all do.
Yeah.
We all do. Speaking of big holes and finishing, Jonathan Taylor's coming back.
Yeah, I saw they're taking him off. I don't know. Is there a difference between injured reserve and PUP list, or is that the same thing?
PUP, you're out of commission for at least 4 weeks. So the injured reserve, you're basically out for I think it's 33% of the year.
30, yeah, I think it's
not 30%, 70%.
I think if you start the season on injured reserve, you can't come back till week 6 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. And then the PUP is you can't participate in anything. It's basically an injured reserve, but you come back sooner.
Oh, okay.
And physically unable to perform list. It's you're not necessarily all that hurt, but you still can come back. The difference is that it's a shorter time frame. And let's say, like, for example, I'll talk about this, and I don't want to deviate too much. Like Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, he was on the PUP list. The Cardinals don't want to say what's going on with Kyler Murray because they after the 4 weeks are over, they have 3 weeks to basically put him on a 53-man roster team. And if they don't, then he goes back onto the PUP list and he won't be able to play for the rest of the year. So they have that gap, as opposed to the injured reserve is either you're out for the whole season or you're out for the biggest chunk of the season.
Oh, okay. So is Jonathan Taylor, will he be available after next week, I guess?
He'll be available this game. So
this game. Oh, okay.
Next game coming up.
Do you think he'll get meaningful carries?
Oh yeah, 100%. The Jonathan Taylor, he was okay. He just wanted a deal done or be traded. Everywhere that I saw said he had a bad back, whatever. No, he was out there practicing in pads when he was on the PUP list. He was practicing by himself because you can't practice with the team. So he was out there doing reps and whatnot. But he's back and he can join practice as of tomorrow, which is a good thing for the Colts because the Colts looked. Their running game is very questionable. Anthony Richardson gives me Lamar Jackson vibes, which Lamar is very hit and miss. And not Anthony Jackson, Anthony Richardson. I'm sorry. And Richardson just he has an arm, he has a cannon, but he can't throw he's not accurate for shit.
No, but man, he's got one hell of a celebration.
Oh my god, that 360 spike, that's awesome. Yeah, but
badass.
You know what though, man? The team rallies around Anthony Richardson. That's why they made him a captain. First year, rookie captain. That doesn't happen often. but the team rallies. And I'm not. Don't get me wrong. Like when the Colts drafted Anthony Richardson, I was not happy. I'm still kind of disgruntled from it, but he's every time I see him out there, man, he gets me excited. I'm not gonna lie.
No, he looks great. He looks great. I understand why you felt that way in the draft because he was one of those that did not have enough tape to justify the potential hype that the pick was dictated.
Exactly, 100%. I don't trust his arm still, and you could tell that versus when they played against the Rams. Like he was 11 for 25 with 200 yards. That's tough, man. And they have the offensive coordinator from the Philadelphia Eagles as their head coach, and he's a pretty good offensive mind, and they just need to do better, in my opinion, because Matthew Stafford looked pretty damn good. He's back. He's back into his old shape, and Puka Nacua, come on, man.
Yeah, he looked pretty good.
Nine receptions, 163 yards, 1 touchdown. The game-winning touchdown, I might add.
I mean, he once again set another. He's just going to continue setting the most records through X number of games every game he plays. But he's now the 39 catches through 4 games and 501 yards, both most for anybody in their first 4 games. And Cooper Kupp's coming off the injured reserve list.
Injured reserve, yeah.
And
I'm a huge Cooper Kupp fan, man.
Yeah, he's
huge.
I mean, they're going to be deadly back there. You get Stafford has time to throw. Somebody's going to be 2 people are going to be open every play.
Yeah, and you have freaking Aaron Donald chasing Anthony Richardson down, the backfield, and he caught him. Like, it's ridiculous how that defense, they don't have too much cap space because they paid all their players, but they still have players that step up with minimal contracts that are killing it. They have one of the top ranked defenses in the league. Oh,
absolutely. They have a linebacker, Ernest Hemingway. He's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to South Carolina. He's pretty good.
Oh, the game.
And he's one of those no-namers like you're talking about who gets paid, a couple hot dogs and a minimum wage salary to come out there on Sunday and wreak havoc.
Hey, man, if I could, I would. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, me too. I'd take 1 hot dog. Yeah. Put me in, coach.
Speaking of hot dog and hot dog water, because, that's how you make hot dogs. How about Jordan Love? What'd you think about Jordan Love in that game?
Oh, man. I have one note for Jordan Love. Looked like shit. Packers had -1 yard halfway through the second quarter of offense. Yeah. -1.
Yeah. I literally wrote down that Jordan Love looked like hot dog water.
Yeah. Then my next note is I fucking love Dan Campbell.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm telling you, dude. How do you not rally around this guy?
He's my favorite. He's my new favorite coach.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
My favorite guy in sports.
100%.
Screw the Taylor Swift effect. We even talk about the Dan Campbell effect. Him out there eating that prehistoric dino eggs for breakfast, making sweet tender love to Mrs. Campbell.
With Matt LaFleur's picture on the stand.
Yeah, because if you can finish with the opposing coach's picture in your face, and beating him in football is easy.
Yeah. It's Matt LaFleur is. I've been saying this for years, man. He is probably one of the worst coaches I've ever seen in the NFL, and Aaron Rodgers bailed him out so much. You have Aaron Jones, right? Which he's coming back from injury. This is his second game back, and you have AJ Dillon, he's a pretty good running back too. He's a good RB2 option, like you said a few weeks ago.
Short yardage too.
Yeah, and you only run the ball 12 times. I get it that when you're behind, you're supposed to throw the ball a little bit more to catch up, but they don't establish the run game at all. And the little moments that they established the run game on Thursday versus the Lions, they were running. They grabbed good yards against the Lions. They set up good ball positioning against the Lions, but they abandon it once they get a first down, they'll go up, they'll try to pass for 3 times in a row, and then they're back to punting.
Yep, same old shit.
Yeah, the play calling is horrendous. It was horrendous with Aaron Rodgers. It's horrendous with Jordan Love, and it's going to be horrendous moving forward. And
Aaron Rodgers can walk up to the line and go, "Yeah, fuck that." Just call whatever he wants.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah, Jordan Love, I don't think he's got that yet.
No,
he might be able to like check down into a run or something if it looks bad enough, but I don't think he's allowed to change the pass play or anything like that.
No, they don't have the intuition to do it. Like, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning type, Drew Brees, all the great quarterbacks, they changed it at the line of scrimmage because they saw something that the offensive coordinators or the head coaches couldn't see. And, Jordan Love, will he get there? I don't know, maybe, but not right now. And, if you go to the other team with the Lions, Jared Goff looks completely different to what he looked with when he was playing with the Rams.
He looks like the number 1 pick in the draft, like he was supposed to be.
100%, man. And
he's put in a position to succeed.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was put in a position to succeed for the Rams because of the offense of Sean McVay. But once he was traded to Detroit, he was no longer in a situation to succeed, and you could see.
Yeah, because they trusted him. The Rams didn't trust Jared Goff. The Rams blamed
Dan Campbell.
Yeah, the Rams blamed Jared Goff for the Super Bowl loss. And you forget, it's a team sport. You can't just blame one person for the loss. And if you talk about comeback stories, look at David Montgomery. He was ass with the Bears, and he had 32 carries, 121 yards, and 3 touchdowns rushing. And the funny thing is that I saw a lot of people had David Montgomery on their benches for fantasy this week.
I faced a guy this week who had him on his bench, and I still got my ass whooped. Bad.
Oh, man, it's the worst.
Jeez.
That is the worst.
I took the worst beating in my fantasy career this weekend.
Really?
Ever.
And
ever. I've never lost by over 100 points.
What? Really?
I lost by 124 points.
What? This is one
of our guy at Montgomery on the bench.
This is one of our leagues?
Yeah, this is in our league. No longer got the 0 in the loss column after this week.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I got decimated. It was brutal. And I was sitting there looking at me and my brother were looking at over each other's fantasy teams like right before, and I was like, yeah, he looks pretty good. I was like, but mine, I like what's going to happen today. And this was, and
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, it's not good, dude.
No,
it's not good.
No. Yeah. Nico Collins is what killed you. Well, everybody.
I was already down 100 points, and he still had McCaffrey. Oh my God. Damn.
So this guy had Jalen Hurts, McCaffrey, Pierce, Keenan Allen, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Nico Collins, New Orleans defense, and the kicker for Dallas.
And Montgomery on the bench, and Lamar Jackson
on the bench.
It didn't matter what combination he played. He could have played his 5 worst players.
Yeah, it's crazy. This is a 10-team league.
He could have played 4 guys on IR and his head coach, and I'd have lost. That was brutal. Hey, we're on to next week, baby.
We're on to next week.
Get back on the winning side of things.
But let's when we're talking about, since we're talking about beatdowns, how about the Ravens versus the Browns with that last minute change for the Browns with Watson out?
Yeah,
I didn't even know he was injured.
Good.
Well, he's a rookie.
Well, he was also cleared to play. He chose, from what I've read, chose on his own.
Really?
To not play.
Okay, I didn't look into it too much because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. The Ravens and the Browns was so boring, and I'm watching. I watch everything on Red Zone, and when I watch, when I prep for the show, I watch the highlights, and I was just bored out of my mind watching this game.
I mean, there was a play on Red Zone. What, like every 20 minutes they show something?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Lamar Jackson. He had one of his better games where he didn't necessarily dominate. He just just did what he needed to do. Like he had
Yeah.
that one pass to Andrews in the back of the end zone where he was sprinting out to the right and just dropped it over 3 defenders perfectly.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson has come a long way from the criticism of him not being able to throw the ball. A long way. Like he's like Brock Purdy right now. He's not doing anything himself to lose the game. It's throwing, and I'm talking about just strictly throwing. He's throwing it accurately, these short passes to make sure that leaves the receiver or the running back up to them to make the play, and that's what's winning these games for him. Which
absolutely
is
efficiency.
They're
not asking too much of the guy.
Exactly, because when you ask too much for him, that's when they lose.
Yeah.
That's when they lose, and everyone becomes frustrated, and you have your Hollywood Browns going to Arizona to lose to the fucking Niners. Christian McCaffrey, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had a pretty solid game, my guy. He had a pretty damn solid day. The thing about Christian McCaffrey is, I got a couple little stats about him. It was his 13th straight game with a touchdown for the San Francisco 49ers.
Really?
Which breaks Jerry Rice's team record of 12. Yeah.
No way.
So he's now in company with Jerry Rice, but those aren't the only legends he's now in company with.
Okay.
He is the 3rd player since 1950 through 4 games to have over 600 scrimmage yards and 7 scrimmage touchdowns. The 2 other gentlemen, both Hall of Famers. You might have heard of them. Emmitt Smith did it in 95, and Jim Brown did it twice in 1958, and then did it again 5 years later in 63.
In the first 4 games of the season?
Yeah, in the first 4 games. It's only 3 people to have over 600 scrimmage yards and 7 scrimmage touchdowns.
That's insane. Like I'm sitting here trying to process that, and it's one of those things where if I didn't see it, it's hard to believe that stat. Because like when you talk about Jim Brown, a lot of us weren't around for the Jim Brown era. It's it's nothing, it's whatever. But then when you actually see a current player do that, and Jim Brown did it in an era where offense wasn't as catered to as it is now, it's mind-blowing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Jim Brown is one of the greatest NFL players of all time.
100%.
He could have played in any era.
Oh my God.
But I mean, for you to be after your 4th game, you're in the same center or conversation of those records with Jerry Rice, Emmitt Smith, and Jim Brown. That's pretty stellar.
Yeah,
pretty stellar company to be in right there.
Yeah. And where are the Panthers at after this trade?
Oh man, well they don't have the 2nd pick in the draft next year currently because that goes to the Bears. So either way, an organization was going to screw that up.
Yeah. Oh man, Panthers look like hot shit, man.
Yeah, I got nothing to say about the shitty Panthers. They suck.
The only thing I have to say about this game was Kirk Cousins got lit the fuck up on that pick six. Also, just next time you watch Kirk Cousins play, when he scrambles, he looks like a toddler running away with something that he's not supposed to be running with.
I will be on the lookout for that one.
He like wobbles a little bit. It's just so funny when I was watching these highlights again. He did that. He runs like a child with like running with scissors. Like it's so funny. Yeah, but the Vikings, that's another team, another game. Which this week we had 2 games where teams were 0-3. And we got to find out who the less smelly as shit is of the NFL.
Yeah.
So
well, there was 2 shit bowls.
There's 2 shit bowls.
Yeah, there were 4 turds in it. And after both of those games, the only one that even has any kind of positive upside is the Vikings could theoretically go, win 4 out of 5 and be at the top of the division in 5 weeks. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. They're the ones who you could say are the ones, the gold colored shit.
I'm as high as I am on Detroit right now.
Yeah.
They're by no means in the driver's seat.
No.
The jury's still out on Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears, we already know what the hell's going on there.
Yeah,
they're already out of the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're already figuring out how to blow the draft.
I mean, the Vikings need to have someone else besides Justin Jefferson catch the ball. I mean, he had
Madison looked good week 1, and
yeah, but in this game versus the Panthers, which I know the Panthers have a pretty solid defense, but Justin Jefferson had 6 receptions. The rest of the team had 6 receptions too. TJ Hawkinson, KJ Osborne, Cam Akers, Alexander Madison. Like, you have to have more production from your receivers than that. You don't win games like that, because now what's going to happen is you're going to have something similar that's happening in the Bengals, which we'll get into in a bit, where you're going to have your star, your mega star, the number 1 fantasy player in the league, Justin Jefferson. He's going to want out. He's going to want to win. He's going to want to get paid. And teams will come after this guy.
Oh, yeah, he will be highly sought after.
Yeah.
He's a ball player. I mean,
he's
one of those guys like Jamar Chase. Like he said, I'm always fucking open.
Yeah.
That guy's always – he's open.
You got
to get the ball there.
Yeah. No, you're 100%. And he does it. And he's been pretty humble. He's been pretty quiet. But these kids, when they pop, they're ready to go, and they're done. Just like you said with Jamar Chase calling out the Bengals. Which what's going on?
These guys, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, a lot of these guys, they got like a 5 to 8 year prime window of their career to get things done.
Yeah,
and even the shelf life for an NFL player is even less than that. But for the the primetime players, the star players, that they only have so many years of just great ball playing out there.
Yep.
They don't have time to sit around wasting Kirk Cousins going 1-32 in primetime games. And
yeah,
last year they got lucky. They won like the most one-score games in the league.
Yeah.
And this year it's going to be the opposite.
Yeah. And you can't do anything about it right now. Once
can't do a damn thing.
No. Just like we're going to segue to, like we were talking about Jamar Chase with the Bengals. Everyone has them so high up on their power rankings. They have one of the worst point differential in the whole league. I think they're minus 63.
It's not good.
No, not good at all. And the Tennessee Titans aren't that great of a football team right now. And they stomped the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, King Henry took off the Queen's crown and put on the King's crown again this week.
He put on his big boy pants.
Yeah, he put down his tiara.
Yeah.
And he put on the big boy Burger King crown. He got down to work.
Yeah, he even threw a touchdown.
Yeah.
You know who didn't throw a touchdown? Joe fucking Burrow.
They didn't sit that guy down for
that's
a month.
Yeah, that's what I have in my notes. There's a time and place where I know he wants to play. I mean, he just signed that massive deal, but he's injured, man. You're at this point, he's more of a liability than he is an asset to the team right now, and you can clearly tell he's not comfortable at all. Not to mention the O-line is horrendous. They've never protected him. That's why he's always beat up so fucking much.
And now defenses know how to scheme against that offensive line because they know Joe Burrow can't go anywhere.
No, he can't. Jamar Chase is, even though he says he's open all the time, he's double covered. Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins have fucking shit for hands. It's crazy what's happening in Cincinnati. And like I said, all these networks and these other podcasts, they have the Bengals still ranked as one of their top teams, and it's no.
I don't understand how you could do that.
No. Just because you have a great quarterback doesn't mean your team is great.
They don't even they come closer to sniffing my bottom 5 I have this week than they do my top.
Oh, spoiler alert, they reached my bottom 5.
Oh, okay.
Because they are just horrendous. And speaking of another teams that are on my bottom 5, how about your Steelers and the versus the Texans, man?
Well, the old Matt Canadia, as you call him,
Yeah,
as we're dubbing him from henceforth, because he's a fucking loser. I mean, he's got to go, man.
Yeah.
Like Mike Tomlin said after the game, he said changes will be made.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
No,
Mike Tomlin is not a coach to fire anyone midseason. He's not one to make any rash decisions midseason. But you got to look at the product on the field. I'm not saying you got to fire the guy, but it is very easy to change his duty from general manager of the restaurant to dishwasher.
Yeah.
Still employed, still collecting a check, but in the scheme of things, you're not in charge.
I can bet you money that you and I could probably come up with a better scheme for offense than Matt Canadia.
Madden auto picks better plays.
Yeah. Ask Madden?
Yeah, ask Madden. That's what it is. He's been dead for 10 years.
Yeah.
He's still a better coach.
Yeah, he's still – I mean, to Kenny Pickett went down around the third quarter, I believe.
Yeah, and that was the problem. 4th and 1, and instead of running the ball, we run shotgun with like a 4-step drop, take a sack, I don't know if it's an incomplete pass or sack. That's the play Kenny Pickett got hurt on.
Yeah.
If Kenny Pickett's in the game, do I think that the Steelers still are competitive? No,
not against this.
I don't understand that play call there.
No, I mean, it's. I want to touch a little bit back on Mike Tomlin. Do you remember what Terry Bradshaw said about him a few years ago? That he's just a cheerleader because Mike Tomlin doesn't call any plays, none of the defense nor the offense, not even special teams. He is basically a overpaid cheerleader. That's what Terry Bradshaw said. And the more and more that the team goes without having because they've been 500 team for the last few years, but the more they go away from the Big Ben era, you can tell that Big Ben was the one who bailed that team out for the most part, and the defense. What was the defensive coordinator? Dick LeBeau.
Dick LeBeau.
That guy was crazy good.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah, he was great. But Houston is a surprising team in all sides of the ball. CJ
Stroud's impressive.
Rookie of the year?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
So far?
Yeah. He will definitely be the offensive rookie of the year. I mean, he has first quarterback to have over 1,200 yards and 0 interceptions through the first 4 games.
151 passes.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's crazy. And we talked about that last week with the company he's in.
He's everything that they invested in with their draft pick.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with Bryce Young, the guy drafted right before him. Mm-hmm. I still think it should have been the other way around. But as we all know, the Panthers can't make good, sound decisions.
No, I mean they took Frank Reich as their head coach, as opposed to giving him an offensive coordinator because clearly he failed as a coach, with the Colts. So the Panthers just don't know what they're doing. But Houston looks like they know what they're doing. I mean, look Nico Collins, 7 receptions, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. His longest catch was for 52 yards. And that ball that CJ Stroud threw was beautiful. He throws a pretty ball.
Yeah, he does.
It's a great looking spiral.
Comes out of his hand nice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Mine does
You know
too.
what I'm talking about, lady.
Mine does too. Sometimes on my hand.
There's ectoplasm everywhere.
It's ectoplasm everywhere. Oh, it's good. Good shit. Did you watch, speaking of good shit, did you watch the Toy Story game? Did you wake up early
I caught
for
a
that?
little bit of it. I just saw highlights.
Yeah, over here in the West Coast, the game was on at 6 o'clock in the morning. Unless there's a team, even I'm gonna be honest, even if the Colts play at that time, because they did a few years ago, they played in Europe. I didn't wake up to watch that game. It's too fucking early on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. But that Toy Story concept looked pretty good. It was kind of annoying, but it looked pretty good.
Yes, I caught a couple plays on social media. There was one where Trevor Lawrence was like sprinting out to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like it had synced up pretty well.
It did.
You know, they had like some kind of shot. You could like watch the game from like Woody's room or something.
Yeah. It had its ups and downs. Sometimes it wasn't
there was
sync.
a lot of kids that watched the game from beginning to end, like through the ratings stayed on. So
really?
They're generating eyes with the Swifties and the kids, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like
they're trying to.
It's a business.
Go ahead and get them future eyes now.
Yeah, it's a business. You have to. Then let's see the last game that we have. Well, we already talked about the Seattle game that just ended. The last game that we have here are the Commanders versus the Eagles. And the first thing I wanted to note is Eagles fans, y'all got to calm the fuck down. Y'all were booing the shit out of the Eagles in the first quarter. In the first fucking quarter, Chet. They were booing the shit out of the Eagles.
Yeah. They're a horrible fan base. They're never happy.
They're happy.
Miserable people.
Hey, we got to go there for WrestleMania, so might want to pull back.
But here's the thing about WrestleMania is the people that are going to be inside that stadium.
Yeah,
80% of them probably go to most WrestleManias.
Yeah, and
maybe 100% of people that go to Eagles games, they're pieces of shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say 80% of the people who go to WrestleMania, I'm pretty sure I can beat the shit out of them. So I'm not worried there. Yeah, you're right. These fucking neckbeards.
Yeah, either that or I could just outrun them, and I don't even have good cardio at all.
Oh man, but Sam Howell looked better than he did before. They definitely strengthened a little bit the offensive line for the Commanders, but they're just on the defensive side they're not doing anything.
No, Chase Young, he's not. He's coming back from his torn ACL, so he's not the imposing, Bosa brother.
No,
type disruptive on the end.
I mean, he had one sack and one fumble, but that's not going to win you.
But he's not making the impact play like every play.
Yeah, he's not the showstopper.
Constantly putting pressure in the backfield. Yeah. Even if he's not actually directly affecting the play, he is indirectly affecting it just by his disruptions. And once he gets that full, like a lot of ACL injuries, some people come back quick, but it's not until that second full year back that they really feel comfortable.
Yeah, unless you're Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, unless you're Adrian Peterson, and then you bust an 80-yard touchdown on the first fucking play of the game. I had him facing him in fantasy.
I know. That's why I brought it up. Man. That's why I brought it up. I want to give you PTSD for that.
Nah, son of a bitch. Yeah, this is rough. Oh, man. Fantasy football has been a rough week, brother.
Yeah, it has.
Fantasy, I was riding high, 3-0.
Yeah.
I got brought down to life, back down to where I belong real quick.
Yeah.
I got kicked right in the stomach.
Yeah, I know. It's fun. Yeah, I mean, you got second place. You got second place last year.
Next week. Hey, I'll still be rooting for the boys.
Yeah. Same here. But yeah, the Commanders, Eagles, that was it's a division game. I know people are like, oh, the Eagles should have beat the shit out of the Washington Commanders. No, that's not how it works with division games. Division games are usually for the most part of the entire NFL lifeline. The division games have always been close games. And they know these two teams know each other. They're going to be neck and neck, and that's how the Eagles won in overtime because they know each other too well.
At the end of the day, it's pros versus pros.
Versus pros, yes, sir. I know I said this was the last game we're going to cover, and the reason I said that's because Tampa Bay, New Orleans. I don't care about those two.
I don't have any notes.
I don't have any notes, man. There nothing excited happening.
We can move on to our top and bottom if you want.
I wanted to just touch base on this part for the Raiders and the Chargers game. Aiden O'Connell was thrown into this game, and he looked just like deer in the headlights. Like he's never played an NFL game before. And I'm talking about in the beginning of the game. After that, he settled down, but he got sacked 7 times, and six of those sacks were from Khalil Mack.
Yep,
that's insane.
Second most sacks, and then tied for second. In most
tied for
7
second.
is the lead, which is insane too. 7 sacks by one player.
Yeah.
6 is. I mean, a 3-sack game is incredible.
Yeah. And these two teams hate each other. We talked about another division game. Again, this was
the home game for the Raiders.
Yeah. Oh, well, anytime the Raiders play in the West Coast, it's a home game. Because the Chargers, even though that's the thing too, the Chargers can play at home and they'll never be the home team.
No.
They'll never be the home team. It's crazy. But another division game, another close game. The Chargers should have beaten the brakes out of the Raiders, but somehow they let the Raiders stick by with a quarterback that thought he was going to be watching from the bench, but they brought him up because Garoppolo couldn't pass a concussion test, which I feel like he's faking that shit. I don't like Garoppolo. He's the biggest crybaby, and I don't see him as a hard worker.
No, he doesn't. He looks like he's always just been given everything his entire life. He looks like he was born with that spoon, that silver spoon shoved right up his candy ass.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it for the week of the NFL. We could talk about our winners and losers and the top teams and our bottom teams because that was fun.
Basically, I pretty much, between the two of us, I've already touched on all my winners and losers.
Yeah, me too. Just to recap real quick of who I had my winners were. I had Khalil Mack with the 6 sacks. Obviously, that was my top winner of the week.
I had him as well.
AJ Brown was another top winner.
Big game Brown.
Well, not only that, but to me, in my opinion, chat, is that when you get a random drug test that Monday morning, that means you did something well. That means you're a fucking winner. He got the letter from the NFL saying he had to take a random drug test today.
Yeah, I think they did that to him last year too.
Yeah, they do it. They do it anytime anybody has a great game like that. They do it. Because I
don't see McCaffrey saying he got tested.
Probably because they don't make a big deal out of it. Some players do. Like Pat McAfee used to get the drug test every time he kicked a 60-yard punt, and he'd always put it on Twitter. So anytime they do something extraordinary, they get that call. Christian McCaffrey, 4 touchdowns. King Henry threw his 4th career passing touchdown, which was awesome. And my last winner was Andy Reid because he tied with Tom Landry for second most wins with fourth wins with 250 wins as a head coach. I thought that was cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
good for him. Dude.
Yeah, good for him.
Great coach.
For my losers, we're beating a dead horse here. The Bears were number 1. Giants offensive line because they were garbage. The refs, the Kansas City refs, because we just talked about that. They should have just let them play. And
Kansas City referees. What a
yeah.
I got the 33rd pick in the draft next year.
In my notes for that game, I had the Kansas City refs versus the New York the New York Packers because the Jets have eight old Packer players.
Oh yeah, it is pretty. Yeah,
Lazard, Cobb, and Rogers, and there's just one more too. One of the cats caught one of the passes. And then my second biggest loser was Matt Canadia's offense.
Yeah, they are losers.
Yeah.
I had two of the same winners as you. I had McCaffrey and Mack.
Nice.
And then my big winner of the week was just the Bills shutting down the Dolphins hype train. I thought, what they did to them.
That's great.
In front of Bills Mafia after the performance that they put on against the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
It was a pretty stellar performance that let them boys know down there in Miami that we're up here in Buffalo and we're here to play ball for the rest of the year. It ain't going to be as easy as cakewalk as you thought it was. Yeah, you got the down New England Patriots.
Yeah.
And the Jets, maybe they string some wins together and stay healthy long enough for Aaron Rodgers to possibly come back. They're speculating at the end of the year, possibly. I don't see it happening.
I don't see it either, unless the Jets make it to the playoffs, which I doubt it. They do.
No, I don't see that. I don't see them not getting flexed out of their remaining primetime games.
Yeah, that's one of my notes I had. The Giants, both the Giants and the Jets are tied with 6 primetime games for the season. I completely get the Jets because of the whole Aaron Rodgers thing, but how do you put the Giants 6 times on primetime? Like I understand if you have the Kansas City Chiefs because of the hot team. I understand if you have the Dallas Cowboys because they're America's team. Even the 49ers because they're a great team. They're a great football team to watch. But how do you go from having Daniel Jones 6 times in primetime?
That's ridiculous.
Because at the end of the day, Chet, that's what you look at. You never say it's Sauce Gardner versus Isaiah Pacheco. It's always the quarterbacks. It's always Patrick Mahomes versus Aaron Rodgers or Zach Wilson. So how do you have Dak Prescott versus Daniel Jones' primetime game? You can't do that. They got to start flexing.
Every year, the primetime games.
You got to start flexing.
I understand. I can see why preseason they made them the way they are, but by the time they roll around, they're garbage.
Yeah, you got to be. You need to start.
And they're not flexing them early enough. I don't think they don't wait until like week 12 or something to start flexing them.
That's exactly.
They need to start doing that shit week 5.
That's exactly when they start flexing. Week 12, after Thanksgiving, it's when they start flexing the games. Which before it was week 15.
That's even more garbage.
Yeah, but yeah. Oh well.
To flex preseason games.
Oh well. The NFL can throw shit at us from the stands, and we'll still watch it.
Yeah. Well, there's only one. Yeah. There's only one loser left to talk about.
Yeah.
And just like you last week, this week's biggest loser is myself. I have the worst week in fantasy football history. I have never seen someone lose the way I did by the amount of points I did.
So did you lose Aaron Rodgers, Nick Chubb, and Michael Williams?
No. You have the worst week-to-week story. Now, this is just a case-by-case basis. They're going to look back in the annals of history at Team Hawk and Suck Connection.
Yeah.
A week 4's performance.
Yeah.
We put up 8. I lost 185 to 64, something like that. I couldn't even muster 70 points, brother. It was bad.
It was 7. You had 75.8 points.
I had 75. Damn. Oh man, I must have picked. Oh, I forgot about Monday Night Football.
And Michael Navarro had 185.96.
Crushed, dominated.
Yeah, and he's
the cleaners.
And he's the new guy in the league, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, son of a bitch!
He's the new guy. He's the guy that we invited last minute because we didn't have a number 10. But at least you know what? In that league, to make you feel a little bit better, I had CJ Stroud on my bench. because I picked them up and I wasn't sure with that Steelers defense, and I put in Jordan Love like an idiot.
I played the
fell for
Steelers defense like an idiot, and they got negative points.
They got -2
against a rookie quarterback.
Against a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, a team with the number 2 pick in the draft last year.
That's so funny.
But yeah, we'll get him next week, Tiger.
We'll get him next week, Tiger.
Yeah. Get him, champ.
What? Talk to me about your top 5 teams of the week. What did you see?
All right, my top 5 teams.
Yeah.
The NFL. All right.
Well, you got
at number 5. I have the Fighting Dan Campbell's, the Detroit Lions.
Ooh.
They're on a roll. At number 4, I got the Baltimore Ravens. And they have a lot of injuries. When they start getting some people back, they're going to be pretty good. Yeah. They got a pretty good stranglehold on the AFC North. I'm going ahead and calling it right now. I hate the Ravens. They're winning the division. You go ahead and lock that one. That's Chet's lock of the year right now. Mark it down. Week 4, Ravens got the division.
Yep. All right.
We'll see you next year. All right, at number 3, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. Their offense is starting to fire on all cylinders. Their defense has looked the best it's ever had under Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes' era. 2, I still got the Philadelphia Eagles. They are still undefeated. They look good. They don't look as good as they did last year. I think they'll start figuring it out here soon. And at number 1, the San Francisco 49ers. All 3 facets of the game. They look phenomenal. They're unstoppable. Until someone figures out a scheme. And once you figure out a way to stop McCaffrey, they still have Devo. They still have Ayuk. George Kittle hasn't even gotten started yet. He ain't done jack squat for this team. Imagine when he starts going off for 9 catches, 118, and 2 touchdowns.
Well, he doesn't need to anymore.
No, he doesn't.
Because that's one of the reasons why McCaffrey's doing so well, because George Kittle is actually blocking. They're actually using a tight end for the main purpose of a tight end, to have that extra blocker. We're so spoiled with the Jimmy Grahams and the Rob Gronkowskis that we expect our tight ends to score a bunch of points, but reality is that they're meant for blocking and then receiving. So Kittle's doing his job, but when he has 1.9 points in my fantasy team, he's not doing my job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's not doing the job you needed.
Yeah, exactly. But the Niners are amazing.
So who you got for your top 5, my guy?
I dropped down for my number 5. I dropped the Miami Dolphins down to number 5 from my number 2 spot because, like I mentioned, the offense is great, but you stop the number 1 thing that gets them points, and they look mediocre at best. My number 4 team, the Dallas Cowboys, they beat the brakes out of another Bill Belichick defense, which I didn't even want to talk about that game because it was just so horrendous. Mac Jones is garbage. We all gave him a few opportunities. Yeah, really, really, with a little bit of shit coming out. Number 3 is the Buffalo Bills because they dismantled the Dolphins, and they lost the game versus the Jets on a hyped up off crowd team. That game won because they rallied over for Aaron Rodgers' injury.
They won it for America.
They won it for America.
9/11, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the script had the Jets winning, and the Eagles at number 2 because same reason. My number 2, my number 1 are the same as yours, and the exact same reason. The Eagles just jump off to a very slow start. They lost their defensive coordinator to the Cardinals. They lost their offensive coordinator to the Colts, and they don't really have anything solid right now as far as coordination goes. But like you said, once they get their feet wet, they'll bounce back and potentially could be the best team in the NFL. Let's see here. So for what about for your bottom teams? What do you have for your bottom of the barrel? What's your number 32?
All right, let's see here. And the 28th shittiest team in the NFL.
Yeah.
I got the Giants.
Ooh, New York Football Giants.
And I had this written down before Monday Night Football, and it stays the same. At 29, I have the Denver Broncos. 1-3, Denver Broncos. Yeah, Sean Payton just got his first win. doesn't mean nothing. It's over another team I'm going to speak about here in a moment. But next up, we have number 30, the Las Vegas Raiders. And Josh McDaniels, he's one of those guys that's always going to be a good coordinator, never going to be a head coach.
Yeah.
Always going to be a good Indian, never going to be the chief.
Yep.
You know. At 31, I got the Carolina Panthers, 0-4. They are currently slated as the organization to have the second pick of the draft. Unfortunately, they do not have that draft pick because it goes to the overall biggest pile of shit in the National Football League, and that is the Chicago Bears. And they absolutely suck. There's nothing good about this organization.
No, not at all.
From the coaching to the offensive line to the quarterback, and I think the quarterback in a proper system, whoever he plays for next is going to have a pretty good structure to work off of to build upon. But currently, as it stands right now, the Bears are misusing him, and they're going to do the same thing with whoever they get next.
Yeah.
If I were Caleb Williams and the Bears have the number 1 draft pick, I'm coming back to USC. I'm going to make another $5 million in NIL.
100%.
Keep having a great time out in Southern California for another year. I'm not going to that organization.
Yeah.
If I'm pulling an Eli Manning and going, I ain't going there. Fuck that. Yeah.
No, the Justin Fields needs one of those quarterback whisperer coaches. Even though I bash on him a lot, Frank Reich's a pretty good quarterback coach. But, they're not. He's not going to go anywhere. They have him down pat, the Justin Fields. But for my bottom of the barrel, I have at number 28 the Cincinnati Bengals, and we touched on this a little bit. They have a 63-point differential, minus point differential. The Bengals do. They're ass. Defensive, they suck. Offensive, they suck. The O-line is garbage. It's just all around really bad. Number 29, Las Vegas Raiders. Josh McDaniels, like you said, you hit it right on the head. He's a good coordinator, horrible coach. Ever since he got caught spying on the other teams with the tape, he's been one of the worst coaches. I think that there was a stat that ever since he got caught, he's like 3-26 as a head coach,
that's worse than the Bears coach.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. And then my number 30, the Denver Broncos, because again, they barely beat the Bears. I'll say it again. They barely beat the Bears. And the only reason why I don't have them as my 31 pick is because they actually have one win opposed to these last two teams, same as you, the Carolina Panthers and the Chicago Bears, because we're not going to beat a dead horse in this show anymore. Or at least for now, anyways.
Yeah.
It's donkey shit. The Bears suck. Oh, yeah. Just a little thing. One of my best friends is from Chicago, and I sent him this picture today because I thought it was fucking hilarious. Is the Bears lose their 14th straight game, Cubs miss out in the playoffs, and the White Sox are still the White Sox.
That's pretty good.
Sucks to be a Chicago fan, right?
I continued my tradition this week of tweeting asking Seth Rollins after every time the Bears lose, do you still hate football? Before you can even post, I hate football.
That's great. That's great.
He's yet to respond to me, but he hasn't blocked me yet.
That's probably because you and a million people have already tweeted that out to him.
Yeah, I can't be the only son of a bitch that thought of that.
I need to get a Twitter, man, so I can start trolling people and piss people off. I do that enough with Facebook. I already got blocked a few times from sports pages.
Yeah, I'm blocked. Like everyone that's blocked me, it's not for like saying bad things. It's because they just had such thin skin that they didn't even like being. And then the things that I've just said horrible thing, like just really spouted out of my mouth about. They're like, yeah, man, I get you. Like they don't even block me. They just go, I feel you, brother.
Yeah, I feel you.
Just like, what the hell?
You can't have two idiots arguing, you know?
Yeah. I get blocked by the softies. And then,
yeah. All right. Let's see. That's so funny. How'd you think you did on the picks for last week?
Oh, man. Not good.
Well, there's
no way we tied again.
No, we didn't tie because the confidence points really made a difference. But we actually would have tied if we didn't do confidence points, because last week you took Denver, I took Green Bay. We both lost with Indianapolis. I picked Houston, you picked Pittsburgh. We both lost with Miami. We both won with Kansas City, and we both won with Seattle. The difference is the confidence points. I had 15 total confidence points, and you had 13.
Ooh,
that was a bit of a nail biter there, which is fun. I love this. All right, Chet, for our Week 5 pick'ems, who do you got for Thursday Night Football? Bears at Commanders.
I'm going to take the Commanders.
Okay.
And what's the over-under on that bad boy?
44 and a half.
44 and a half?
Mm-hmm.
I will take the over.
Over on that. Okay.
How many confidence points? I give that a confidence of 5.
5? Really? That high?
Yep.
Nice. Let's look at the balls on Chet. I also have the Washington with the over, but I feel like the Bears could potentially, do a little bit better versus the Commanders team that has so many flaws. So I'm going to do confidence points of 2. So next game, it's the Colts game, is the Titans at Indianapolis. The over-under is at 42.5. Who you got?
I am going to take the Colts. And I'm going to think they're going to go over 42.5.
Over 42. Okay. And what do you have for your confidence points?
Confidence on that one, I am going to give that a 4.
4. Okay. Okay. Let's see. For the Ravens and Steelers, what you got?
Ravens and Steelers. I have the Steelers, and I have that as a confidence. I have the Ravens running away with it with a confidence of 6. I was going to say I have the Steelers getting stomped at home. And I'm taking the under.
The under. Okay.
Because the Steelers will not score many points.
38.5.
Yeah, I'm still taking the under.
Yeah, I have the Ravens too, but my confidence is I'll go with the 6 as well. Actually, no, I'll do a 5 because I have another team that I have more faith in. Eagles and Rams. I am taking the Rams in this one because they look pretty good, man. They look pretty good, and the Eagles have struggled. I feel like they're gonna struggle against the Rams, and I have my confidence points at 3. What do you think? What do you have?
I'm going to take the Eagles with a confidence of 2.
Okay.
I'm going to take the over.
Nice. Okay. Let's see. Sunday Night Football. This is a banger match. Dallas Cowboys versus San Francisco 49ers in Santa Clara, California.
I got the 49ers.
49ers.
Yep. And I'm going to take the under on this game because I think the 49ers defense is going to shut down Dallas big time. I have a confidence of 3 on this bad boy.
3 on the bad boy. This one is my confidence points with the San Francisco winning.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think they're gonna mop the floor with the Cowboys. And Monday Night Football, Green Bay Packers at
Another banger, by the way.
Another banger. The Green Bay Packers at Las Vegas.
I got the Packers on the road getting the win.
Yeah.
The Raiders, they're just a dysfunctional organization. But
Yeah.
I am so confident in it. I gave it a confidence of 1.
One.
Yeah.
See, this one was a hard one for me, and I felt like I should have gone with the 1, but I chose not to, just because at the end of the day, if Jimmy Garoppolo plays, I would have had a 1 for my confidence, but if he doesn't clear concussion protocol, then I'll give him my 4 confidence points for Green Bay.
Ooh.
So that was my logic. We'll see how we did for the week. And I think that wraps up football for the week, Chet.
Well, one last thing before we wrap
Yes,
up.
sir.
You want to know how good Vegas is at their job of getting people to get just putting out the lines? Through 3 weeks, teams are 30-30-3 against the spread.
Jesus, 30-30-3?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't mind me asking, where'd you find that?
I saw that on the internet. So that might not be true.
No, it's okay. I'm asking because the gambling addict that I am, I have another resource to use for my addictions. Please gamble responsibly, fellas.
Yeah. If not, go to your local GA Gamblers Anonymous meeting.
Yeah.
They give you a 30-day poker chip. It's counterproductive, if you ask me.
Yeah. What's funny is that one of my old coworkers, he gambles like religiously. Like me and him got into it very, very bad. And one day he pissed me off. I don't know what the hell he did, but I called Gamblers Anonymous and gave him his phone number. Because I'm petty like that. I'm an asshole. So yeah, that was fun. That was fun explaining to him that was me.
Hey, every time they have that little disclaimer that comes up at the end of commercials, like if you or anyone you know has a gambling problem, I always tap my dad on the shoulder. I was like, "Hey, they're talking about you."
Yeah, I do that with my friend Tyler too. It's like, hey man, you gotta stop. You gotta stop.
Yeah. All right, so that does it for football this week. So we got a little MLB Playoff Preview.
Foosball.
Yeah, you know about the we got 4 matchups starting tomorrow.
MLB
We got baseball all day tomorrow.
As in
3 p.m. until about midnight.
Eastern
Playoff baseball. It's October baseball. It's one of the best times of the year. On the American League side, we got the Texas Rangers at the Tampa Rays. And we got the Toronto Blue Jays at the Minnesota Twins.
Minnesota.
Yeah. And, the Rangers, they lost the division on the last day of the season to the Houston Astros to even be in this predicament.
Yeah.
Houston Astros won 4 games in a row.
Yeah, versus the Diamondbacks.
And the Rangers lost on the last game of the season lost 1-0 to Seattle. They lost 3 of 4 to Seattle.
Yeah.
Who had already been eliminated by the beginning of that series and had nothing to play for. And the Rangers still couldn't muster just one more win to win the division. So they got to face the good Tampa Bay Rays. We'll see what happens there. And on the National League side, you got the Diamondbacks at the Brew Crew. For the Brewers, they got Brandon Woodruff out because they got one of the best rotations with Corbin Burns and Freddie Peralta.
Yeah, the Brewers have the best pitching right now statistically, which is crazy for a number 3 team.
Well, they're a number 3 team, but when you think about that, the Braves and the Dodgers are the 2 in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
There's a difference. The Astros backdoored themselves into a 2 seed.
Yeah. The Houston Cheaters.
Yeah. Who else but the damn Astros?
Yeah.
Backdoor their way.
Dude, they always have luck like that, man. You can't tell me it's not a fucking coincidence.
It's just bullshit.
I hate them. For the record, I hate them.
Falls in their lap. Hey, when the Braves beat them in the World Series, it's one of the greatest feelings of my entire life.
It was great.
Yes, that postseason run, man. I go back and watch it on YouTube highlights all the time. All right, but the one last final series we have is the Marlins at Phillies. Marlins, you got your 2002 National League champions. They have pretty potent offense. Kyle Schwarber, he's got 47 home runs. But Miami, this is only their 4th postseason appearance ever. And the first 2 times they went to the postseason, they won the World Series.
They won twice, yeah.
Yeah. And then the last time they made the World Series was because of COVID rules where 8 teams made it in on a 56-game season.
Yeah.
And they were the 8th seed.
Yep.
But those games are all 2 out of 3. So this is the new playoff schedule this year where 6 teams get in.
Yep.
So the top 2 seeds get a first-round bye. And then so they'll play 2 out of 3 all at the same stadium, same home team for every game. And then they'll go on to the division series, and they still play 5, best of 5.
Best of 5.
And then the National League Championship, or the Championship Series and the World Series are both still 7-game series. But that's the new playoff format this year. It gets more people in the mix. It used to be pretty prestigious to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, it did.
MLB. Only 8 teams made it.
Yeah. And then when they did the whole 5 thing with the wild card and the 4th seed and the 5th seed doing that wild card 1 game, that was exciting for me. I like that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that too.
It because it felt like an NFL game.
Game 7 off the rip.
Yeah, exactly. It felt like Game 7. It had huge implications, and now, I mean, as a baseball fan, I get to watch more baseball, which is a plus. But the whole home field advantage is huge, which I like.
Absolutely.
And like you mentioned, I just wanted to add this. With the first round buys for the teams, Minnesota and Blue Jays, if they win, whoever wins of those 2 plays the Orioles, and whoever wins out of the Rays and Rangers plays the Houston Cheaters. So I think for the American League, we're going to have a very, very tight playoff picture there, as opposed to like the National League, because the National League, I think it's a common consensus that the Braves and the Dodgers are going to meet themselves in the NLCS.
That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd like to see the Marlins beat the Phillies, and then somehow the Marlins beat the Dodgers.
No.
No. I want to see Atlanta. I want to see Atlanta Dodgers.
Yeah, it has to be.
It's been one of the best series the past few years in postseason play. Yeah. I mean, starting the year before the COVID years, when the 4-1, and then COVID year, the Braves were up 3-1 in the National League Championship Series and blew it. Mm-hmm. But then the very next year, they finally sealed the deal against the Dodgers. We'll see what Dave Roberts and company have this year. I hope it's those 2 teams in the National League Championship Series.
Oh, Dave Roberts will find a way to fuck this up.
You think so?
Oh, 100%. Man, Dodger fans, we don't like Dave Roberts. As winningest as he is, he depends too much on stats, analytics, and that doesn't always work in the playoffs. So we're tired of Dave Roberts.
Yeah, I'm tired of the Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean,
personally,
when the Dodgers played the Houston Astros in the World Series, we lost that series when he took out Woods, when he was killing the Astros. The Dodgers would have been up 2-0 in that series going into Houston, but Dave Roberts took out Woods when he was hot and cost us the game.
That has always been his biggest problem, is pulling pitchers at the worst time.
Exactly. Because it's analytics. I can't say that word. Analytics.
Analytics. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. So,
but stress it on the front end and the back end. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I did want to mention to you. I wanted to tell you what Vegas has the teams winning the series from here on out.
All right.
For on the American League, they have the Toronto Blue Jays on plus 1,800. Texas Rangers, they have them at plus 1,600. Tampa Bay to win the series, they're at plus 1,200. The Minnesota Twins are plus 2,000 with a 3 seed, which is weird because they have in the American League they have the lowest odds to win. The Houston Astros plus 500 and the Baltimore Orioles plus 650. Which, yeah, the Houston Astros at plus 500 again. They have no business getting that first run by, but they fucking did it.
Nope, backdoor their way into it.
And then
analytics.
And then from the National League, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks. I wrote down Arizona douchebags plus 3,300. And I still call them the Florida Marlins. I'm not going to call them Miami Marlins because it sounds weird. Florida Marlins at plus 3,300. Philadelphia Phillies at plus 1,400. Milwaukee Brewers at plus 1,800. Again, another 3-seed weirdness. Dodgers plus 500 and the Braves at plus 275. Ooh. So Vegas is all in on the Braves winning the chip this year. Which you can't argue that logic. Obviously, we talked about it. You're a Braves fan. I'm a Dodgers fan. I know when the better team is. I'm not going to argue. The Braves should have it in, and if the Braves don't win the series this year, what do you do? What do you do as a team, as a Braves fan? What do you do if the Braves don't win?
Then it looks like the '90s all over again. Dominant during the regular season, can't finish in the postseason.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Greg, I've watched probably, no joke, at least 130 of the 162 games that were played. Because I live in the Braves market, so we get every game on TV.
Yeah.
And they are everything they're built to be.
They're a juggernaut.
They've been a juggernaut all season. When star players went down, they had other people step up throughout they have 4 players with over 100 RBIs. Almost had 5.
Yeah.
Austin Riley, I think he finished like 97 or 98 RBIs, just too short. Ozuna, he hit 100 RBIs on the last game of the season with a 3-run bomb. So he hit 40 homers and 100 ribbies all in one swoop. And he started the season out horrible. So the Braves are firing on all cylinders. The Dodgers always look good. We'll see if Dave Roberts knows how to plug and play his bullpen in the right situations. And, if Mookie Betts, any series that he just goes off for, and he could bat 575 with 5 homers and just MVP.
Yep, I agree. If Mookie doesn't play well in any of the Dodgers series, the Dodgers aren't going to win. They're not.
Because Freddie's going to be Freddie. He's
going
to be Mr. Consistency. He's going to slap it around. He's good for like a homer, maybe. But Mookie Betts, he's going to be the one that drives that team to a World Series.
Yeah,
if they do get there.
The Dodgers have 4 players with 100 RBIs as well.
Well, hot diggity dog.
Yeah, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Muncy, and J.D. Martinez, I believe.
Oh, man. J.D. Martinez has been raking for years.
Yeah,
I did see the Braves tied the 2000, it was either 18 or 19 Twins home run records for the season.
Nice.
By team. So that's pretty solid. That's also a problem when you get to the postseason. If you live and die by the homer, and a lot of games the Braves have won by homers in clutch situations.
Yeah.
The pitching kept it in it just long enough to hit a 3-run dinger in the 8th inning, and sometimes in October baseball, those home runs are hard to come by.
October baseball is the best.
It is the best.
It's so
matters.
good.
Every pitch matters. Every signal from the third base coach matters.
Every swing, every pitch, every signal. There's people out there who don't like baseball, and
sucks to be them.
It sucks to be them 100% because you don't have the patience and to watch and to understand how baseball works and why baseball. You have to be top tier athlete to play in the MLB, because you have these kids who get drafted out of college, and sometimes they get drafted number 1 pick and they never see the field in a Major League Baseball game because they're just not that good as a number 1 pick. So you have to understand like how much it means to all these guys to play. So they play extra hard in October. You love it.
Dude, they go through the dog days of summer
this
time of the year.
Yes.
I mean, I tell you right now, those players on the Braves didn't play in 120% humidity all the way through May through pretty much 3 weeks ago. Just go ahead and lay down now.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good postseason.
Me too.
I like the new format. I do miss the one game. But like the one game play-in, immediate, just game 7 off the rip. Because we'd be having 2 of those tomorrow and 2 of them on Wednesday if it was last year's format.
Yeah, and another thing too is with the new format, with the new time too, the way that they're, have the pitch clock is I think it's great for baseball as well, because they're making the changes that are going to benefit them and hopefully bring in the ratings that they want. Because the average used to be for a baseball game
5.5 inches
in America. The average was for the length of a baseball game was 3 hours and 10 minutes, and then with the new pitch clock, it reduced it down to 2 hours and 40 minutes, which it's it doesn't seem like a big difference, but when you're actually watching this live, it's a huge difference. Huge difference. Huge. Because there's more pressure on putting the right spin on the ball, making sure you have the right call. It's putting more pressure on the batter because he knows the pitch is coming faster. So it's definitely for the best, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. I don't have to watch a player step out, adjust his gloves and crotch 6 times before he steps back into the box and take a pitch 47 seconds later.
Exactly. And try and reducing how many times you can pick someone off down to 2 is good and bad. It's going to be great for the postseason. I'll tell you that right now. It's going to be phenomenal.
I mean, if you throw over that second time, you better be confident he's going to steal on
That's what I'm saying. You can't make that mistake, and that's why I'm so excited for the postseason, because
a lot of extra strategery.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The analytics are going to be awesome.
Yeah, those anals it'll go down in the annals of history.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's it for our MLB playoff preview.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our NFL Week 4 recap and Week 5 predictions this week on Sofa King's podcast. Thank you for joining us. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Sofa King Smarks Podcast. My name is Chet Von Chetsky. You can follow me at Chet Is Wrestling on all those same platforms. You can find this podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and YouTube. And my co-host, Dat Dude Ben, you have anything you want to plug, buddy?
You can follow me on Instagram at Whobencio, WHOBENCIO. I need to get a Twitter going because I'm not cool like that. I need to get a Twitter so I can be cool like you, Chet.
You better pack a lunch, bro.
Dude, I promise you, if I get a Twitter, I'm gonna get fucking blocked and death threats instantly.
Then you just open another Twitter.
And I'll just open another one. Fuck you guys.
Hey, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? At the end of next week's episode, we'll be giving you Hubencio's new Twitter handle. He is officially banned on all platforms. Thank you for joining us, guys. Like and follow, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
See you guys.